Oh boy. 5 years. For the last 5 years, I've had to hear all you morons on the internet complain, cry, bitch, moan, everything you can imagine when it comes to Roman Reigns. All of you saying Roman Reigns sucks, Roman Reigns this, Roman Reigns that, how, you threatened to cancel your WWE Network subscriptions, how a lot of you in 2015 canceled your WrestleMania trip because Roman Reigns was going to be in the main event of WrestleMania 31 against Brock Lesnar. I've had people say that they were done with WWE, period, after Royal Rumble 2015, but tuned in to watch Raw the following night. How you all didn't want Roman to be the guy. You wanted bum-ass Dean Ambrose. Yeah, he's in AEW, but let's face it, it's still the same shit. Jon Moxley is basically Dean Ambrose with a fucking haircut. Just keep it a buck, right? You wanted Farm Animal. Remember Farm Animal? Remember Farm Animal Daniel Bryan? How everyone bitched and moaned and cried when Roman beat him at Fastlane 2015? I remember. I did a live show. Myself, Chase, we were celebrating, we were happy, and people who called into the show were just crying and bitching and moaning about it, especially on social media, right? I remember, true story, I was in Cowboy Stadium, WrestleMania 32. The main event was Roman Reigns and Triple H for the WWE title, and Roman comes out to the ring, and people were booing. People were completely booing Roman, just doing all these random chants that you can imagine, right? The match was over. Roman won. People were still booing. People were even leaving. I remember this too. People were leaving the stadium during the main event. A whole weekend, just Roman sucks, Roman's trash, what have you, right? I was there for all that shit. For the last 5 years, I've seen all of this shit. And now as a Roman Reigns fan, I feel like there's been vindication, finally. A big smile on my face. Yes, I even heard people say, "Oh, Roman, he faked leukemia." How Roman is fucked up that he chose to leave during the whole pandemic, what have you, and this and that, right? All this shit. And Roman Reigns comes back. He's now the tribal chief. He's a heel now, right? And all of a fucking sudden, everyone that for the last 5 years, all these dorky internet wrestling fans, all these dorky podcasters that have shitted on this man for the last 5 fucking years are now all of a sudden on board the Roman Reigns wave. Everybody now wants to be part of the wave. Well, I'm going to just say this. As someone has been a day one supporter of Roman Reigns, we didn't need you then. We don't want you now. Hop off the fucking wave, you dorks. Hop off the fucking wave. Oh, I can spot a fake one when I see one. Believe me when I say that. Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, and you are all still low-life pieces of fucking shits. And it is what it is. This is, obviously, as you can tell, your WWE Clash of Champions 2020 review. Yeah, your overall review. My overall thoughts on what was WWE Clash of Champions. And as you can tell, yes, I am happy. I'm excited. Finally, some vindication, if you will. The IWC once again being a bunch of hypocrites, what have you. But more importantly, again, Roman Reigns is your tribal chief. I am that mother flower named Steve, but you all knew that by now. If you're new to the channel, you dork, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And boy, I'm just excited. I'm just happy. I really, and I'll be real about it. I was going into the show with zero expectations. I really was. And I ended up finishing watching the show and with a smile on my face, with a fucking smile, and seeing Twitter, social media, if you will, the IWC with egg on their face. I hope that yoke is running. I really, really do. But anyway, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on the pay-per-view, what have you. If you like this show or not and all that fun stuff, let me know. If not, let me know on Twitter at HeelSteven. So, I did watch the kickoff match. Now, mind you, originally the kickoff match was going to be Asuka versus Zelina Vega for the Raw Women's title. There was a lot of changes. Apparently, the WWE Women's Tag Team title match got canned, basically. Nikki Cross was not able to make the show as well, so her match with Bayley also got nicked. So they made a lot of changes. So instead of what was going to be Asuka Zelina Vega on the kickoff show, instead we got Cesaro and Nakamura defending the SmackDown tag titles versus Lucha House Party. So everyone that was crying and bitching and moaning about Asuka and Zelina Vega being on the kickoff, how it's not right, can you all just shut the fuck up finally for once in your fucking lives? Just shut the fuck up. I'm tired of all this crybaby beta bullshit. They're soft as baby shit. And I hope that you're all happy. I hope that you're happy that Zelina Vega and Asuka got moved to the main card. And guess what? I wasn't even thrilled about it. To me, it was whatever. But I'll get into that later on. What we had here, we had Cesaro and Nakamura versus the Lucha House Party. And for whatever reason, they decided to put Lince Dorado and Kalisto in a team together. Even though on SmackDown, they looked like they've had some issues, right? It looked like that, right? But here, they put them together. And for what it was worth, they did start off the match pretty well. They did have some double team maneuvers here and there. There was one spot in the match where it looked like Kalisto was on the outside, who was going to DDT Cesaro, but he couldn't do it. And Lince did a dive to the outside with the assist. But eventually, it was all said and done. Cesaro and Nakamura got the win after the swing into the Kinshasa for the 1-2-3. So there's that. Kalisto got pinned. So that was basically it. And still, your SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. So there you go with that. Honestly, a part of me wishes they would have just merged the titles already, the tag titles that is, but it is what it is. So from there, we go on to the main card. We kick things off with the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, or the undisputed Intercontinental title, by the way, right? Between Sami Zayn and his title versus AJ Styles versus champion Jeff Hardy. So both belts were up in the air. You had to climb the ladder, get both belts. I honestly thought this was probably one of the best ladder matches that WWE's done in a long time. I know we had that ladder match from WrestleMania this past early on in the beginning of the pandemic with Morrison. I think it was Morrison. I think it was Kofi. And I think it was Jimmy Uso. I could be wrong on that. But I really enjoyed this. I feel like all three guys here really worked well together. Considering this was a match with a stipulation, right? They made this shit fucking work. They really, really did. You think about it, right? If you watched on SmackDown this past Friday, Sami Zayn pinned Jeff Hardy, right? He got his win. And he's like, wait a minute. There's no way he's going to win this match. The ladder match, that is, right? And then Hart and Styles at the end of that whole segment, that match from this past Friday on SmackDown, he climbed the ladder and grabbed both belts. You already knew that, okay, he's not winning. I literally thought Jeff Hardy was going to win. Jeff Hardy did do, I think it was a swanton from the top of the ladder onto Sami Zayn. The ladder did break. They did their whole spot where the ladder is bridged from the apron all the way to the announcer's table and stuff like that, which was pretty cool to see. I think it was the ladder, but one or the other, right? Sami Zayn was the MVP of this whole thing too near the end. So he grabs handcuffs. And by the way, Sami Zayn took an ass beating. Let's just get that clear as well. He took a fucking ass beating in this match by both Hardy and Styles. So Sami Zayn grabs two handcuffs that was in his jacket. He handcuffs Jeff Hardy from a ladder and through his earlobe, like the gauge that he had, like the little earlobe. He put the handcuffs through that. So Hardy was fucked. And then he decided to handcuff himself to AJ Styles. So AJ, even if he wanted to grab the title, he couldn't do it. So you see Hardy trying to get into the ring with the ladder handcuffed to his earlobe, whatever, right? try to use it as a weapon. Which, honestly, again, if you're Jeff Hardy, that has to suck. Remember a couple of months ago, it was like a year ago or so, it was Styles, it was Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton in a feud. I think it was 2 years ago. And there's a moment where Orton grabbed Hardy by the gauge and he twisted his shit around, and that the visual of that was just fucking sick. Right? Just like this right here, I can imagine for Jeff Hardy. But in all of this, Sammy has the key in his pocket, takes the handcuff, right, his part, and puts it on the ladder. So Styles is fucked. And Sami Zayn retrieves both titles, and now Sami Zayn is the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. He retained his title, or recaptured it, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And there's that. I thought, again, it was a good match, a good way to kick off the show. Probably one of the better ladder matches from WWE, I will say, this year alone, but that's just my opinion. I ask you guys the question as well. From there, we go on to, apparently there was like a backstage segment where R-Truth, he is like walking around the Amway Center. He goes into the referee's lounge, and I guess little Jimmy gave him a bad direction, what have you. And you see in the background Drew Gulak, who's working out, what have you, and he pins R-Truth to become the new 24/7 champion. Drew Gulak has come a long way, and it's sad. Drew Gulak, a couple of months ago, was having these classic matches with both Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. And now here he is, 24/7 champion, a comedy bit, what have you. Even though there was talk that he was done with WWE and he resigned, and look what's happening now. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Just to lose the title later on in the night to R-Truth. So there was that. From there, we go on to the Raw Women's Championship match. Asuka defending her title against Zelina Vega. This was supposed to be originally on the kickoff show, but there was changes. And even when the match was announced, and I said this on my predictions, a lot of people were bitching and moaning on the internet. And again, it's just the IWC in 2020 is nothing filled, is all it really is filled with these beta crybaby bitches. That's what it is. Bitching and crying. This is bullshit. Why is this on the kickoff show? Asuka deserves better. Yeah, she does. I'm not denying that. But let's be real about it. Since when in the flying fuck do any of you dorks ever gave a shit about Zelina Vega? Zelina Vega, and spare me this talk all the way she's been placed. I get that, but at the same time, none of you gave a fuck about her as a manager, which she was good at. She was good at it. And now you're going to tell me that, oh, you give a shit about her as a wrestler? Really? Fuck that. Again, this is something for Asuka to do, which it really was, for the time being. Until you get to Survivor Series or Hell in a Cell, I don't fucking know. And that's what this was. Was this a clinic? No, by no means at all. Was this a 5-star classic? Don't make me fucking laugh. As I already am and shit, right? But this honestly was whatever match. Yes, Zelina Vega had some moments here and there, got a near fall, right? But it was all said and done, the right person won. Asuka hit the Asuka lock. Zelina tapped out right away. They, after the match, went to embrace, so it seemed. Zelina attacked her. So basically, this is still going to continue going forward, likely into probably Monday Night Raw. I don't fucking know, but we'll see. I doubt they'll have another pay-per-view match. I really, really do. But I hope once all this is over with, a lot of you fucks can just shut the fuck up and quit your bitching and moaning and crying. Just saying. Because it really is disgusting. You guys make my fucking skin crawl all the time. I tell you that right now. From there, we go on to the United States Championship match. Bobby Lashley versus Apollo. Apollo cut a video promo early in the match, wanting to be a 2-time U.S. champion. But yeah, I guess you could say that, right? A 2-time U.S. champion for his kids, what have you. There was no Cedric Alexander at ringside. Apparently, Cedric wasn't even in the building. There's talks, again, I didn't mention this on the podcast earlier on the prediction video, but there's been this whole thing with people testing positive for COVID, not just in the NXT realm, but also in the AEW realm. People within AEW tested positive, people from NXT tested positive. And when you look at all of that, I guess they're all taking precaution right now. There's precaution being taken and shit. And there's that. So it sucks. It's unfortunate. People put on your mask. Just saying, you're in Florida or the epicenter of the pandemic. So it is what it is. But this match, for what it was worth, I thought it was okay. Nothing to go crazy about here. When it's all said and done, Bobby Lashley did lock in the Hurt Lock. The full Nelson. I'm just going to call it the full Nelson. The Hurt Lock is a stupid fucking name. And beat Apollo to instill the U.S. champion, Bobby Lashley. So there's that. From there, we go on to the Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Now, going into this match, I'm like, you know what? Why should I give a fuck about this match? Garza and Andrade never fucking win. They never fucking win. And here, again, these two guys, it's like they never had an issue. Right? Their chemistry was on point. They were going at it, got some near falls. Somewhere in this match, Angel Garza did get hurt. Apparently, he injured his hip. They're saying also that it's not that serious, but he did suffer a legitimate injury, per the reports that's coming out now. But this is the issue that I had. I guess all of us did too. The referee once again fucked up. Yes, the referee once again fucked up. There's a moment where I want to say it was Angelo Dawkins who hit a spine buster on Andrade and went for the pin, and you clearly see Andrade kicking out, but the referee counted 3. And you can even see in the face of Dawkins, like, this the disgust. Like, yeah, listen, they won, but you just know that wasn't supposed to be the finish. Like, they just felt like, disgusted by the whole shit. And here's the thing about it, okay? Injury or not, come on, referees. Like, WWE, can we please start fining referees if you fuck up? I understand you got to call it on the fly. I get that. But holy shit. A couple of weeks ago, Mickie James got fucked over by a referee decision. And now here we are with Angel Garza and Andrade, the Street Profits, for the tag team titles on pay-per-view. Can we please, again, WWE, can we please start fining referees? Seriously, can you please start fining a referee? This is embarrassing. This is ridiculous. Holy shit. Steve Mazzagatti is a better referee in pro wrestling than a lot of these fucks right now in WWE. Hell, even in AEW, I'll say that right now. And Steve Mazzagatti not even a pro wrestling referee. He is an MMA referee. Need I say more? So there is that. From there, we go on to the SmackDown Women's title match, between the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Bayley defending her title, which was supposed to be against Nikki Cross, but Nikki Cross was not able to be at the show because, again, if you think about it, a lot of the NXT talents tested positive for COVID. So I guess, contact tracing and shit like that, there is no Nikki Cross. That's what I have to assume right now, but it is what it is. So Bayley comes out and she's like issuing an open challenge, but no one's answering. So I guess she wants the referee to declare the winner via forfeit. Out comes Asuka, who's the Raw Women's Champion. And to me, this is just a lazy decision because, okay, here's Asuka. She just faced Zelina Vega in a whatever match. She won, even though after the match she got attacked. And after the match, she cut this promo in Japanese, like threatening Zelina Vega. So see, I don't speak Japan, but that's what it seemed like, right? And how here she comes against Bayley, like nothing happened. She's doing her move, her dancing and shit, like nothing fucking happened early in the night. They have the match and ends in a disqualification when Bayley attacked, I think, with the steel chair, with the title, what have you. It was, again, to me, this was just a lazy choice. All for this, just for have Sasha Banks come out to attack Bayley. even though Bayley had some parts in that attack too. But eventually, Sasha is back. They're saying that she's still hurt. She had a neck brace on. And this is where we're at now. This was basically used to continue the story of Sasha and Bayley. Now, will they do this at Hell in a Cell? Likely, yes. Should they wait this a little longer? I would say yes too. But hey, we'll see what happens. But again, that's the point of all of this. Speaking of which, they did announce that they will be having, once again, the draft is coming back in 2020, starting October 9th on SmackDown and continuing on October 12th on Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. I look forward to seeing the Fox robots again. That's all. I hope they do the whole boardroom shit. I really want to see that. Just for the fucking Fox robots. Just saying. From there, we go on to the WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in the ambulance match, where the only way you win is you put your opponent in the ambulance and lock the back door. Here's the thing. This match was brutal. Yes, it was a fight, but it was overbooked as shit. It really, really was. Drew apparently had a fractured jaw, like I mentioned in the predictions, right? But at the same time, it's like, really? You have a fractured jaw, but you're still going to go out and wrestle? I don't get that, but still. There's a moment where it seemed like, hey, Randy was going to win at the beginning of the match. But you see a hand grabbing Randy's foot. And that ended up being the Big Show. And he chokeslammed Randy into the announcer's table. Right? And when you saw that, okay, I know where this is going, right? Everyone that Orton attacked during the summer are now coming back to get their revenge on Randy Orton, right? So they're brawling, that being McIntyre and Orton. They're brawling, they're going into the back. They're using the ambulance as a fucking weapon, right? They're in the back in catering, somewhere in the back in catering. And Christian comes out and attacks Randy Orton. Remember, Christian got low below by Ric Flair and then punk kicked and attacked by Randy Orton a couple of months ago. So he comes out and he attacks Orton. The match continues. And they're just beating the fuck out of each other. Orton and McIntyre, that is, right? There's a moment where Orton drops McIntyre on the windshield and just the glass just cracks and shit. McIntyre's back is bleeding. RKOs and all that stuff. Then there's a moment where you see they're fighting on the roof, by the way. They're fighting on the top of the fucking ambulance. There's one part I laughed. So you see Drew dangling, like he's hanging on, like he's gonna fall off the fucking ambulance, right? By the door or what have you. Mind you, they put this whole thing where he's he's hanging on, but you can tell that this guy can just step on the ambulance thing and that would have been it. He was not gonna fall or get hurt or anything like that, right? But you see Orton stepping on McIntyre's finger, which was hilarious, mind you. Orton turns around and who pops up? Shawn Michaels with a sweet chin music and then dumps Orton from the top of the ambulance and shit. All this leads to, again, a Claymore kick. And it looked like it was going to be over with. But McIntyre decides to hit a punk kick onto Randy Orton and then lock the ambulance. Even though the ambulance did not have a fucking door in the front, in the driver's seat, what have you. But yeah, McIntyre retained the WWE title. It was overbooked, like I mentioned. You see McIntyre celebrating, right? And they put the camera to who's driving the ambulance, and it's Ric Flair. Ric Flair, who also got attacked by Randy Orton. So they want you to believe that, right? Is driving this ambulance with the line, I hope they don't. I guess he was hoping and praying that they don't check his records or his license and shit, or pull him to the side because of this driving and shit. Hilarious, but you kind of get the idea, right? Now my thing is, what's next for Drew McIntyre? I hope this is it. I do not want to see another Drew and Orton. I do not want to see another Drew and Orton match. I don't. That's just me, of course, but we'll see what happens. Knowing WWE, they're probably going to give you another one. But whatever. From there, we go on to the main event, the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, my tribal chief, the tribal chief of everyone, defending his championship versus Jey Uso. This was amazing. Everything about this match was fucking amazing. Now, mind you, I did say in the predictions that the idea that I had was, hey, watch them not even have a match. Watch this whole plan of Jey being behind this whole plan as well, just to get heat on Roman, right? But I was wrong. They actually went out there and had a fight. Obviously, yes, Jey's offense did no effect to Roman. Roman just ragdolled Jey Uso throughout this match. Yeah, they gave you that moment where Jey made a comeback, hit a super kick, did the fucking dive off the top rope for a near fall, right? And all that stuff. But everyone doubted him. Even the commentator, even Corey Graves and Michael Cole were doubting Jey Uso, right? And eventually, again, Roman got his momentum back and he just demanded. And it's funny, too, because throughout this whole match, Roman is just trash-talking his cousin. Trash-talking everyone. And it was good. Also, by the way, Roman is sporting a new look. No more vest, just no shirt. Just plain chest, the black pants. Apparently, Roman's going to get a new theme song, a new attire as well. So that's cool to hear. It really, really is cool to hear. But Roman is just beating the fuck out of his cousin. Like, he just got a mount and started throwing elbows and punches. The referee wanted to, again, stop the match, but Roman said, no, don't stop the match at all. This is what we do. We're family and shit like that, right? So there was that. And again, just Roman just beating on him. Like, he could have ended the match minutes ago if he wanted to. But continued to beat it because he wanted Jey Uso to refer to Roman as his tribal chief. That's what he wanted so fucking badly. And out comes Jimmy Uso, limping and all. And he's ready to throw in the towel, but you hear Jey lying there. Basically saying, don't do it, Uso. Don't do it. Don't throw that shit. Don't throw that shit. Eventually, though, Jimmy Uso throws in the towel. Roman retains. He doesn't pin his cousin. So there's that. But you see Jimmy get in the ring and he's basically said, you're happy. You want me to say, I'll say it. You are the tribal chief. Now leave him alone. Right? And again, everything about it was fucking amazing. This is the heel Roman that they should have done 5 years ago. Yes, I'll agree with you on that. They should have made Roman a badass from the beginning. Right? I get that. But holy crap, it's amazing now. And I said this early in the beginning of the video, how everyone all of a sudden is on the Roman wave now. The Roman Reigns wave, right? Even though people, again, for the last 5 years were shitting on the man, booing him. Some podcasts referred to it as the Roman agenda, right? Remember those theories and whatever? Now look at everybody. Who's laughing now? Who is laughing now? It was great. Awesome. Again, I actually ended up enjoying this pay-per-view. I really, really did. Believe it or not. And just the icing on the cake, Roman Reigns, his heel turn is complete, basically. We now have a heel Roman. Tribal Chief Roman is better than the Big Dog. Rest in peace, Big Dog. Hello, Tribal Chief. And at the end, you see this image of Roman putting on this, like, this rose, this flower like necklace, right? That Jey Uso brought out to the ring on himself, like he's the tribal chief. It was great. It was awesome, fucking awesome. This wraps up the pay-per-view review. Again, I'm happy as a Roman Reigns fan who's been a fan throughout all these 5 years, right? I remember everyone being mad about Roman. SummerSlam 2014, that's when it started. And all the stuff that led, Rumble 2015, him winning, WrestleMania 31, him and Brock, all that stuff. People were just shitting on him, and now all of a sudden, everybody's a fan of Roman Reigns. Again, I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again. You weren't with us in the beginning. We don't want you now. It's that simple. Guys, your thoughts in the comments below. Your thoughts on Clash of Champions. I almost said Night of Champions. I don't know why, but I just almost did for a second there. All right, your thoughts. in the comment threads, if not on Twitter at HeelSteven. I did say earlier in the week that I was going to be relaunching my Twitch. I still am. I'll keep you guys posted more on that as the weeks go on. But as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And until next time, this has been another installment of Around the Point. Peace out, dorks. And hello, Tribal Chief. Remember, Roman is your Tribal Chief. Our Tribal Chief.